Welcome back to the clown world run by clowns and Ursula von der Leyen and her besties in Brussels. The European Union, that until yesterday had tough requirements for countries to join its protectionist club, is now accelerating Ukraine's future membership of the European Union. The same EU that said Ukraine need to do social reforms. They're not civilized yet, fully. They said just like Turkey. Turkey's been in the queue waiting list for years. Then, but in the name of, for the sake of solidarity, she came as Ursula von der Leyen wearing the Ukrainian flag and said, "Well, let's accelerate the membership, but at the same time, it's going to be merit based." Yeah, sure.
First, that Ukraine is given European perspective, and second, that Ukraine is given candidate status. This is, of course, on the understanding that the country will carry out a number of further important reforms.
Okay, firstly, you can't be your own court, your own judge in your own court. It's not really impartial and balanced, your assessment, when you're wearing Ukrainian flags. Secondly, what is the point of this? Because this is not supposed to be some sort of future Star Trek fantasy world where you're going to get every random country to join your club. You're going to be your own downfall. And everything goes back to one simple thing, which is their main agenda. It's all about money anyway. But because considering a lot of countries in the past, when Ukraine were trying to join at the time, number of times, last time it was the Netherlands that vetoed its application process. Germany lashed out and everybody had a massive fight. But now everything seems to be okay. Everyone's ready. Well, let's go to the political editor of the channel, Peter Barnes, and get his perspective on this issue. What's going on with this Ukraine membership of the EU? Because on the one hand, the European Union had tough requirements in the past. They need to do social reforms in Ukraine like other countries. Turkey is still struggling to join. And now they want to accelerate it. It's because of solidarity, European solidarity. Von der Leyen came, the head of the commission, to say earlier that it's going to be merit-based. At the same time, she was wearing the Ukrainian flag, so I'm not really sure what's going on here. What's happening?
When it comes to not knowing what's going on, I don't think the EU really knows what's going on. It's trying to do things basically because it's got caught not doing anything too early. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it took them so long to kind of have any response. They can't really decide on the kind of Russian oil thing, and they've just basically made a complete mess of Ukraine, the EU, for being brutally honest. Ursula von der Leyen is so far out of her depth, it's actually awkward to watch now. You are perfectly right. So to join the EU, you have to have some concepts of civil society. You have to have so many criteria to hit. I mean, there's big controversy over whether Poland and Hungary really should be booted out because of the issues that they have there. But yeah, this idea that the EU, if you remember during the referendum campaign, was a rules-based society. It's funny how they go quickly out of the window the minute that they want to do something. Yeah. It is, it's quite funny, but it doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, they want to kind of get the Ukraine into the EU as a kind of solidarity move, but I think it was I think we just said I think it was the Netherlands that blocked it originally, and I think you're perfectly right to mention Turkey. If I was Turkey, I'd be a little annoyed if I was them. They've been trying for years to get in, and they've been pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, and now it just seems to be that the rules go right out the window for some people, and yet they're very strictly enforced for others. It's not really looking good for the EU on that front.
And just last question is, from Zelensky's perspective, of course, like, he's been a Ukrainian protectionist. The whole agenda that the Ukrainian government have is to protect Ukraine. On the one hand, they are very much in favor of joining the Western tent, the so-called globalist tent, and everything from the EU to the World Economic Forum and all these things. At the same time, what is the kind of obsession with seeing the European Union as this beacon of opportunity? Because I don't think it's even going to last that long. Because there's been some people like Blair and these guys have been coming out saying 20 years we can see the UK rejoining the EU. Yeah. Do you even see the EU, the current form, to actually last in 20 years' time?
No. And when it comes to one simple thing, when it comes to the great beacon of opportunity, it's one simple thing: money. The EU will give the Ukraine billions, absolutely billions, and it's basically what it is. If I was a struggling nation, you can look at the EU as pretty much as a cash cow. You can bleed Germany, France, Italy, the Netherlands dry, and you can fix your own problems and get somebody else to pay for it. That's one of the main problems really within the EU, is that if you're a net contributor like the United Kingdom was, the things that you got back was very limited in terms of the amount that we gave.
Yeah.
And Ukraine will be a taking country, not a giving country. So it won't surprise me that countries like the Netherlands will start to say, wait a minute, you can't join here. And it won't be because of civil society. The real reason will be that the net contributions that countries will have to make to the EU are only going to increase. And that's going to lead to resentments back at home and national sovereign states, as things cost more, and it always seems to be that the EU is bailing out other countries and not giving them help.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on. But thank you so much, Peter Barnes, our political editor. Well, the moral of the story here is that this chaotic organization, the European Union, and all the European project, the wider project, are still the same people who are telling us, a so-called independent sovereign Brexit Britain, how to govern itself. It's a very embarrassing situation for us and our government. We're going to come back, subscribe to the channel. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.